Jehu ordered, put them into piles, put them down, looking like dire. Blah. To pet the fire. Coming down the crocodile. Nayo. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jehu. The next morning, Jehu went out. He stood before the people in the town. You are innocent. It is I who conspired against my master. What a sick line, dude. Yeah, dude. But who killed all these? Dude. He fucking confused them. He put the fucking so much confusion on them right there. And shame, dude. He had them kill them. And then when they brought their heads and he told them to kill, he said, who did this? Dude. And then he said, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so sick, dude. So Jehu. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me back up. I'm in the middle of this. Man, I love reading this part. Okay, so. Oh, fucking badass, dude. So, basically, Jehu is instructed by the Lord to get rid of Ahab's family. And, I mean, like, all the detestable, witchcraft familia. I mean, this is Old Testament. This is fucking badass shit right here. So they were in Samaria 70 sons of the house of Ahab. So Jehu wrote letters. Jehu was the one I was just talking about, who was instructed by the Lord to become king and to rid the house of Ahab of descendants, instructed by Elisha, who sent a prophet to go anoint Jehu with oil and become king. It's out of context, but I just kind of filled it in as best I could to get to where I'm at. And so there were instructions from the Lord to Jehu. And when he was anointed king, there were instructions. Basically, he's anointed king, and the reason why the Lord anointed him was the purpose was to rid the house of Ahab, the evil, Jezebel. The Jezebel and Ahab, same family. Same, And so he killed Jezebel and that whole family. Ahab, Jezebel, same thing, same family. If you've heard of the name Jezebel, that's the same. Ahab and Jezebel, it's the same fucking, same dick, same pussy. It's the same family. So dirty fuck, dude. So anyways, but this is the Old Testament. I'm just reading it, so it's the instructions that was for Jehu the king to be anointed king and to rid that family. So he's now he's killed Jezebel. Oh, that was sick when they did that. So Jehu went to Jezreel. I'll just say real quick. Jezebel had painted her eyes, looked nice with makeup, and she's looked out a window as Jehu entered the gate. She asked, "Have you come in peace?" Blah, 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 blah. He looked up at the window and called out, "Who is on my side?" Who? 2 or 3 eunuchs looked down at him. And then he said, "Throw her down." Jehu said, "Throw her down." So it's in the middle of turmoil. Like, who's in charge is always shifting. So this badass comes in, his name's Jehu, and he's anointed king, and he's got some fucking chariots, and he says, "Throw her down." They listen, There's no arguing, because, you do what you're told when you're in that position. So they threw her down, and some of the blood splattered on the wall and the horses as they trampled her underfoot. Oh, damn! That's so gnarly, bro. And then Jehu went in and ate and drank. "Take care of that cursed woman," he said, and bury her, for she was a king's daughter. So, I mean, this dude's, all right. But earlier the Lord had said that that's not going to happen. So, but when they, yeah, like right here, look, but when they went out to bury her, they found nothing except her skull, her feet, and her hands. They went back and told Jehu, who said, "This is what the word of the Lord that he spoke through his servant Elijah," which is like Elisha's twin, Elijah the Tishbite, on the plot of ground. So this is the word of the Lord that he spoke through his servant Elijah the Tishbite. On the plot of ground, thus says the Lord, on the plot of ground at Jezreel, dogs will devour Jezebel's flesh. Jezebel's body will be like refuse on the ground in the plot at Jezreel, so that no one will be able to say, "This is Jezebel." Thus said the Lord through Elijah. And that's what just happened. Boom. So it's a confirmation for Jehu right there, which just builds. I mean, seeing that kind of stuff after you already know your anointing and everything, that just puts you on another level, dude. You're just like, oh wow, like, okay, God is, yeah, he comes through with all his, every word that he speaks comes true. Like, you gotta respect it, dude. He's so honest. So then after that, now there were in Samaria 70 sons of the house of Ahab, the house of Jezebel. So Jehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria, to the officials in Jezreel, to the elders, and to the guardians of Ahab's children. He said, "As soon as this letter reaches you, since your master's sons are with you, and you have chariots and horses, a fortified city and weapons," basically, you have yourself, you guys can protect yourselves, right? So he says, "Choose the best and most worthy of your master's sons and set him on his father's throne, and then fight us for your master's house." That's pretty badass. That's how shit went down back then. But they were terrified and said, "If two kings could not resist him, how can we?" You know what I mean? That just fool. Terrified, of course. So the palace administrator, the city governor, the elders, and the guardians sent this message to Jehu. They said, "Thus said their house, we are your servants, and we will do anything you say. We will not appoint anyone as king. You do whatever you think is best." That's how they sound. Then Jehu wrote them a second letter saying, "If you are on my side and will obey me, take the heads of your master's sons and come to me in Jezreel by this time tomorrow." Now the royal princes, 70 of them, were the leading men of the city who were rearing them. When the letter arrived, these men took the princes and slaughtered all 70 of them. They were rearing them and slaughtered them. They put their heads in baskets and sent them to Jehu and Jezreel. They slaughtered their own family just to because they were scared. This is how life goes down. Know who you are, dude, in life. Okay, they put their heads in baskets and sent them to Jehu and to the boss. And when the messenger arrived, he told Jehu, "They have brought the heads of the princes." Then Jehu ordered them, put them in 2 piles at the entrance of the city gate until morning. The next morning, Jehu went out. He stood before all the people and said, "You are innocent. It was I who conspired against my master and killed him." You are innocent. It was I who conspired. So right away, he's just like getting them. Like, this conversation, right here, is just, it's so tactful, strategically, like, so like, it's the word. It sounds like the Lord has filled him with wisdom in this moment here. He's given him the words to speak. It doesn't say "Thus says the Lord," but it's him. Just he's obviously in the spirit, because it's like this wisdom comes from God. And so the next morning, Jehu went out. He stood before all the people and said, "You are innocent. It is I who conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? Oh my God, he's the one who told them to kill him. So now he just fucked them in their head, gave them shame and everything. Just badass, dude. He says, it was I who conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? Know then that not a word the Lord has spoken against the house of Ahab will fail. The Lord has done what he promised through his servant Elijah. That's what he said. It was I who conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? Know then. He didn't let them answer because it's just shame. He says, know then that not a word the Lord has spoken against the house of Ahab / the house of Jezebel, same thing. Know then that not a word the Lord has spoken against the house of Jezebel will fail. The Lord has done what he promised through his servant Elijah. So Jehu killed everyone in Jezreel who remained of the house of Ahab, as well as all his chief men, his close friends, and his priest men, leaving no survivor. Jehu then set out and went towards Samaria. At Beth Eked of the shepherds, he met some relatives of Ahaziah, king of Judah, and asked, who are you? They said, we are relatives of Ahaziah, and we have come down to greet the family and the king of Babylon. Take them alive, he ordered. So they took them alive and slaughtered them by the well of Beth Eked. 42 men. He left no survivor. After he left there, he came upon Jehonadab, son of Rechab, who was on his way to meet him. Jehu greeted him and said, are you in accord with me, as I am with you? I am, Jehonadab said. If so, said Jehu, give me your hand. So he did, and Jehu helped him up into this chariot, and they rode off together. Jehu said, come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. That sounds like me. Come with me and see my zeal for the Lord. Then he had him ride along in his chariot. When Jehu came to Samaria, he killed all who were left there of Ahab's family. He destroyed them according to the word of the Lord spoken to Elijah. God loved Elijah. He took him into heaven, dude. That's sick. He just swooped him up, dude. He said, you're coming home, dog. He said, what's up, bro? That's alright, dog. And then, when Jehu came to Samaria, blah, 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 he killed all of Jezebel's family, and then he destroyed them according to the word of Elijah. I just read that. Can't see. Ministers of Baal killed. Then Jehu, excuse me one sec. I had something in my eye, dog. And then Jehu brought all the people together and said to them, Ahab served Baal a little bit. Jehu will serve him much. Now summon all the prophets of Baal, all his ministers, and all his priests. That's badass. So everybody's like, okay, well, what? Okay, what's going on, you know? And so, see that no one is missing, because I am going to hold a great sacrifice to Baal. Everyone's like, what? Okay, what? Anyone who fails to come will no longer live. Oh my God, dude. Imagine everyone tripping on their head. They're either tripping out a little bit or they're tripping out a lot. You know what I mean? Like, dude, these are really powerful words. And then, but Jehu was acting deceptively in order to destroy the ministers of Baal, in accordance to God. Jehu said, call an assembly in honor of Baal. So they proclaimed it. Then he sent word throughout Israel, And all the ministers of Baal came. Not one stayed away. They crowded into the temple of Baal until it was full from one end to the other. And Jehu said to the keeper of the wardrobe, bring robes for all the ministers of Baal. So he brought out robes for them. Then Jehu and Jehonadab, son of Rechab, went into the temple of Baal. Jehu said to the ministers of Baal, look around and see that no servants of the Lord are here with you, only ministers of Baal. So they went in to make sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had posted 80 men outside with this warning. If one of you lets any of the men I am placing in your hands escape, it will be your life for his. As soon as Jehu had finished making these burnt offerings, go in and kill them. Let no one escape. So they cut them down with the sword. The guards and officers threw the bodies out and then entered the inner shrine of the temple of Baal. They brought the sacred stone out of the temple of Baal and burned it. They demolished the sacred stone of Baal and tore it down. The temple of Baal was trampled down like the Philistines, and people have used it for a tadpole to get bombed on to this day. So Jehu destroyed Baal worship in Israel. Thank you. Thank you, Jehu. Good job, bro. You know what I mean? Doing what you're supposed to. However, he did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat. Stupid friend influenced him. That's what it's saying here in plain English. So he caused Israel to commit the worship of the golden calves of Bethel and Dan. Fucked up, man. See? You did what the Lord said because the Lord was in charge. You know what I mean? You just gotta always remember the Lord's in charge. The Lord's the boss. You know what I mean? I forget too sometimes. No, everyone's easy to go in your life and think that your boss in work is your boss and this boss and this boss and boss. God's the boss. Like, ultimately, always, dude. Like, you can't forget. You can't come against the boss. You gotta remember who the boss is, you know? The Lord said to Jehu, because you have done well in accomplishing what is right in my eyes and have done to the house of Ahab all I had in mind to do, your descendants will sit on the throne of Israel to the 4th generation. It's not like forever and ever for that guy, but that's a pretty nice. That's to the 4th generation, bro. We're at the point now in America where the 4th generation is all that matters, because you guys don't give a fuck about your founding fathers. You guys don't give a fuck about who died for this country. You guys don't give a fuck about your fucking nothing, dude. We're at the point now where there's no generation. You just fucking do whatever the fucking money tells you. You guys just fucking fall apart at the seams. Anytime someone fucking threatens you about some stupid shit, just fuck it, dude. Know what the fuck is real, man. You know what I mean? You're in the hot spot, man. Not me, bro. Not me, dog. I know who I am. And I'm cool with it. If you don't know who you are, that's not cool with nobody. And that's the hot spot. That's the hot seat. You better feel the fire and start to think, oh crap. What's going on? Who am I? Where am I? Where's your brain at, dude? You better start thinking like long term, dude. You think you're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. Do you understand my words? You better think long term, but you're not promised tomorrow. So pause it, rewind it, play it back, record it until you have it memorized. You're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. You're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. You're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. You're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. You're not promised tomorrow, but you better think long term. These are serious, wise words I'm telling you. But they can mean whatever you want them to mean, dude. Literally.